the campus of Bowling Green State University.
Thanks for joining us this week on BG24 News. I'm Autumn Stevens. Life can be unpredictable, but unfortunately we all know death is inevitable. And when that time comes for a loved one, there's a lot of work to be done to prepare emotionally and financially. The League of Women Voters in Bowling Green held a panel to discuss just that. Community members asked questions pertaining to the power of attorney, passing on critical information to the rest of family, wills, death certificates, and other various responsibilities that pertain to preparing for a loved one to move on. Attorney Kyle Wright, who was a part of that panel, weighed in on just how important it is for family members to be prepared for this time in their life.
It's extremely important. As I always tell people, some people want to know how much does X cost or whatever, and I tell them the cost shouldn't even be a consideration. It's the peace of mind that you get. We're all, as they said, we're all going to pass away at some point. So to take the necessary steps to be prepared eases that burden on loved ones when they're grieving, the passing away of a mom, a dad, a sibling. But doing this now takes that whole burden away. So you can have peace of mind that knowing that your children or your spouse, everything's prepared and they'll be taken care of.
The holidays move closer and families come to visit is certainly as important thing to keep in mind. Now, this past week was Oktoberfest, and reporter Raylan Cleveland was there to cover.
Green State University held its 20th annual Oktoberfest. Oktoberfest is an autumn festival originally held in Munich, Germany. This tradition has been continued for over 200 years. This year, BGSU's German club hosted this famous event in the ballroom. We talked to Wally Perkins, a 7-year returning patron, to find out more.
The German club sponsors it, and I think it's pretty good that this is now the seventh year here. Gemütlichkeit, a German word which means great fun.
I'm half German, and so I actually went to Germany recently, made some friends there, and I kind of just love the culture. I like getting to listen to music and hang out and eat good food.
Oktoberfest showcases traditional German clothing, music, dancing, food, and beer. This year, a polka band played famous German tunes through the night. This is Raylan Cleveland, reporting for BG24 News.
Over the weekend, Paul Wuzinski, a local business owner, gave a talk about his experience of hiking the Appalachian Trail. Reporter Logan Westfall has more.
On Sunday, October 28th, Paul Wuzinski, a local backpacker and business owner, gave a talk about his experiences from hiking the Appalachian Trail. In 2015, Paul and his wife set out to hike one of the most famous trails in American history. This 2,200-mile-long trek took Paul and his wife approximately 6 months, and the two faced many hardships throughout their journey. During his talk, Paul walked through his entire experience on the trail and explained the different obstacles that each part of the trail presented. Paul showed many pictures from throughout his journey and shared stories, both positive and negative, from encounters he had with both animals and other people he and his wife met along the way. Reporting for BG24 News, I'm Logan Westfall.
Next, a look at all things Falcon sports when we return from the break.
Most generous people on the planet. It's part of America's spirit. It's what makes our country so great. Right now, there are millions of people in Africa who are going without food. Young children are the worst off. The UN is calling it the largest humanitarian crisis since 1945. For the first time, a group of American aid organizations are joining together to raise money, awareness, and hope for those who are suffering. This is a country of compassion. It's a place where we help because it's the right thing to do. It's in that spirit that we're asking you to step up and support the Global Emergency Response Coalition's efforts.
Support the Global Emergency Response Coalition by going to globalemergencyresponse.org today.
Now over to sports with Leo. Leo?
Thanks, Autumn. The Falcon football team faced the Kent State Flashes on Tuesday night action. Let's take a look at some of the action. Midweek action came to the Dwight Tuesday when BG took on Kent State in Carl Pelini's first home game since taking over as head coach. The matchup featured two teams looking for their first MAC win of the season. Kent would open the scoring nearly halfway through the first on a Woody Barrett 24-yard pass to Joel Shaw for an early 7-0 lead. BG would respond towards the end of the first with a 30-yard field goal from Nate Needham. Needham would then notch a 34-yard upright splitter a few minutes into the second. BG would take a 13-7 lead with 2:57 left in the half on a Jarrett Dagey 9-yard toss to Dorian Hendricks. Kent State would retake the lead seconds before halftime when Woody Barrett ran a QB keeper into the end zone for a 14-13 lead heading into the half. At the half, head coach Carl Pelini seemed pleased with his team's first half performance.
I thought when we were doing things the way we were coached to do them and when we were executing, we did okay. And when we made our mistakes, we let them back in the football game. So hopefully we can eliminate those mistakes and play a little sharper this half.
With 3:49 left in the third, Joel Shaw ran in his second touchdown of the night to make it 21-13. BG would answer back yet again to tie the game on a 4-yard connection from Dagey to Ravion Hargrove to make it 21-all after a 2-point conversion. But less than 2.5 minutes later, Antoine Dixon took a pass from Barrett 2 yards into the end zone to give Kent the lead 28-21. BG wouldn't give up as Noah Massey's 12-yard reception was good enough to tie it up yet again. But Kent would put the nail in the coffin when Joel Shaw made it a hat-trick night on an 18-yard run. After the game, Coach Pelini gave his thoughts on the game.
I thought we fought. I thought there was a lot of fight in us. I think we fought to the very end. Made some mistakes. There was sloppy play at times with the penalties and whatnot.
BG's next game is November 10th at 3 p.m. in Mount Pleasant versus the Central Michigan Chippewas.
In other sports, the BG hockey team is firing on all cylinders. The team is currently ranked 9th nationally in the latest USCHO poll. Most recently, the team completed a 2-game series with the Ohio State Buckeyes. That included an 8-2 victory in Columbus in their house. Now, Ryan Valen, the voice of Falcon Hockey. Chase Bachman is alongside with him. Guys, this BG hockey team is fire on ice, some might say. Chase, what do you think?
You might be right, Leo. We're looking at a pretty good Falcon hockey team, and here to talk with us about it is Ryan Valen, of course, the voice of Falcon hockey. And Ryan, a couple of things we like to talk about this past week was the Falcons' terrific series against the Ohio State Buckeyes, and they had that 8-2 win in Columbus. What kind of things can they take away from that series heading into conference
Well, I think
play?
it gives them a lot of confidence moving forward because they did, beat a ranked opponent. 8-2 is the first game on Friday. A lot of pucks were going in the net, and that's kind of been the theme so far of the season so far. Only 7 games with a record of 5-1-1. That a lot of pucks are going in the net. 36 goals, and they're outscoring their opponents 36-12 through 7 games, which is incredible, and it leads the nation. And so, like I said, gives them confidence moving forward, and those games could matter come towards postseason time where maybe the Falcons didn't do so well in the WCHA conference, which I think they will do well. But it will come in handy when the pairwise rankings come out as well.
And like you said, early in the season, but a couple of guys have kind of established themselves as the primary scorers on this team. We've had great guys like Max Johnson, Lucas Craggs, Stephen Bayless, the captain for the team. They're doing spectacular, scoring plenty of goals. Who, so far this season, in your estimation, do you think is the MVP so far?
Well, I look at all three of those guys of right now, and if you talk to head coach Chris Bergeron, something that he'll talk about is scoring by committee. They don't just have one guy that's putting up all the numbers. One night it's going to be Stephen Bayless in the opener where he scored a hat trick. Another night it's going to be Lucas Craggs flying down on a breakaway, breaking tackles and trying to see if he can score. And then another night it's going to be Max Johnson where he lights the lamp 3 times in a single game and gets his first career hat trick. So it's all by committee, and if there's one MVP, you'd have to say one of the three. Alec Rawhauser is another guy in there. Ryan Bednar, their goaltender, and Bednar, Johnson, and Rawhauser, all three of them were named in the WCHA accolades, both weekly and monthly as well. So again, those are all three guys by committee. Those would be your MVPs of this season so far.
Coming up this weekend, they have that matchup. They host the Northern Michigan Wildcats. This is going to be a spectacular WCHA series. What kind of unique challenges do the Wildcats pose for the Falcons coming in this weekend?
Well, the Wildcats return a lot of their players from last year. Phil Ballou on the back end. They still have Troy Loggins, which broke all of our hearts, in the WCHA semifinals. And so there's a couple of players like that, and also a goaltender, Ate Tolan, as well. It's going to be a great series.
All right, so all in all, who do you think is the winner of the series?
I'd have to give it to BG.
All right, cool. Well, there you have it, Leo.
Thanks, Chase, and thanks, Ryan, for being here. The men's basketball team is beginning their season tonight. And last year, the team finished 4th in the MAC East Division, not the finish that they wanted. But Coach Michael Huger and his team are hoping to improve on that finish this year. They returned key starters like Antoine Lillard, DiMaggio Wiggins as well. And Coach Huger thinks that this team has a chance to show what they're made of.
Oh, it's very valuable. We do a lot of things defensively, offensively. We play against each other for about 3-4 months, and to get that outside competition, the guys are itching to play against someone else. They get tired of beating up on each other.
And that is all for sports. Autumn, back to you.
Thanks, Leo. When we get back from break, we'll take an up-close look at the bees.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Learning how to kickflip 6 stairs takes determination. So will getting into college. I've got what it takes. So do you.
You think you're just checking your messages or telling a friend you're on your way. They could be the last words you ever type. Make sure you get where you're going.
Don't look at me. Your hair's a bit frizzy today. Aww, you should pick that up.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Poor you.
They want to help, but don't know how. Teach your kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
We now go over to weather with Kendall Linnenkugel. Kendall?
Thanks, Autumn. The weekend looks a little drier than what the rest of this week might have been, but the rain will be returning as we head into the beginning of next week. Right now, we're at a chilly 46 degrees. It's still raining as of right now. It has gotten a little bit heavier as we got into the course of the afternoon. Winds have also picked up as well. Right now, we're about sustained northeast of 14 miles an hour, and that is going to pick up as we get into the night tonight. Tonight, we're looking at a low of about 42 degrees. The rain is still going to pick up. It's going to drop with a chance of rain as we get later into the evening tonight, more like about after 2 a.m. The wind is going to pick up. It is going to be quite breezy as well. It's actually going to be sustained winds of 14 to 21 miles an hour. But as we head into the rest of the week, Friday we have a high of about 49 degrees. It's going to rain as we get into the first half of the morning, but as we get into the later half of the afternoon, the rain will be tapering off just a little bit. Saturday and Sunday are our dry periods. We have highs of 50 degrees with mostly sunny skies. Sunday, the first half of the day is looking pretty sunny, but it will cloud back up as we head into the beginning of the week. Monday and Tuesday, it will be quite warmer once again, but the rain will be returning, and it's going to be a lot heavier as we head into Tuesday and the rest of the week. That's it for weather. Back to you, Autumn.
Well, he used to wear slacks to work. Now he walks in from the backyard with sticky socks. Aaron Kelly tells us raising bees in Worthington, Ohio is a dream job.
Started as a college job in Montana. Then, Isaac's wife gifted him 2 beehives for Christmas.
15 years ago, Isaac's life was completely different. He was a high school science teacher with a classroom of about 30 students. Now he has 1 million times that in honeybees.
Him and his wife Jane quit their jobs. Their honey business has grown large enough to supply to Whole Foods. Well, and to a couple others.
I steal some every now and then. When I see they're not there, I'll take a little pound of honey.
Losing a pound of honey or getting stung are not Isaac's fears. He dreads having a child who's allergic to bees.
It would be really hard to just totally quit something that I'm in love with. That sounds selfish. But no matter what, I wouldn't go back to teaching. I'd probably work construction or something.
But as for now, he's living out his dream.
Thank you, bees. Here's a little bit more.
Reporting for BG24, I'm Erin Kelly.
We thank you for joining us here on BG24 News. I'm Autumn Stevens. Make sure to check out Falcon Media on both social media and falconmedia.com. Have a great weekend, everyone.